In real estate, it's good to know your resources, what's relevant, and what's real. Here it is, the Real Estate Buzz with Roseann Rogers.
And here she is, the Real Estate Buzz with Roseann Rogers. She's right here. Roseann, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
It's super awesome, as always. And I always wonder when you're on, because I never know in advance what is the buzz today.
It's always a surprise,
That's
isn't
what
it?
makes it perfect. What's the buzz?
Well, the buzz is communicating with your customers and prospects. How do you communicate? We think we're effective at it, but let me tell you, we're not. We're not. I had 5 emails today about people asking me if Stewart title offices were open or closed for Good Friday. So if they're calling me, Bill,
We need to
and
get
they're
that word
asking
out.
me, made me think we're probably not doing the best job that we could to inform our customers that we are not open on Friday.
That is exactly right. And the interesting thing about communication is sometimes we think we're communicating, but it doesn't happen.
Well, it's a lot in our head. I'll be perfectly honest with you. With social media, this is how we think. Oh, I did communicate with Shelby. I saw Shelby. No, I didn't see Shelby. I commented on her Facebook page, and I think that I communicated with her, but I didn't invite her to that party that I said I thought I did because I just liked it and I thought I had a conversation, which was not a conversation. Bill, I mean, it wasn't.
Here's something. When it comes to communication via email, this happens a lot. I do it all the time, and I notice when we send emails out, it seems like our attention spans are so short, we don't read the complete email.
We don't.
We read maybe the first sentence, if we read it at all.
If you're not on that first,
we better be concise.
First, like half part of the page, you didn't get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
So you have to be quick, concise, direct. And also, how do you do that? What's your best practices? Okay, let's just take this holiday because we talked about.
There we go.
So the offices are going to be closed. Now, some of our customers, how did you communicate that with them? Did you email them? Did you call them? Did you send a flyer out? Did you send a card? And let's remind you, not everyone celebrates the holiday. So you have to keep that and be very conscious about that as well. So what did you do to communicate with people, to let people know? Also, you're going to have anxious customers, no matter what business that you're in. You're not open on Friday? What do you mean?
You can't please everybody.
You can't, but what are you doing because you're not open on Friday? Well, we're going to open early on Saturday, or we're going to be available on Monday. Everything's going to shift. But to give people get anxious, they get anxiety about things. So you have to make sure that you communicate, whether it's the holiday or perhaps something else that's coming up that you know that's in advance that you should put on your calendar and even your Outlook or Google, depending on what your preference is, hey, countdown to this. I'm going to be sure that I do this first to let our customers or prospects know what we're doing and how we're going to illustrate something.
And we hear it all the time, Roseann, especially on this show when we talk to realtors. One of the first things I remember last week where the realtor said, the first thing I do is I sit down, and even though the person has gone through the real estate they may have sold 7 homes, I go and walk them through because things change. And they also use the term setting expectations. So important.
Right. Or you forget, Bill. Let's just put it right out there.
I've forgotten a lot of things.
Okay,
right.
You and I both have bought and sold lots of homes before. But when you're sitting down and going through it again, you're like, what? What is that again I have to do? Oh, wait a second.
I don't remember signing this last time.
Wait, there's so many paper. I didn't know there's so many. Well, you have done this 6 times, Roseann. Bill, you've done it 4 to 6 times yourself. But however, again, things change, rules change, expectations. Also, you're not doing it every day. I'm not supposed to remember everything, and no, either are you. So we need to be reminded of those things. And so I think it's a good step back. And like I said, I was thinking about this when I received the 5 emails, and then I was almost like, well, what offices? Is it all the? I mean, I was like, oh no, and you don't want to come across as being on the defensive. You always want to be on the offense. You always want to be able to engage with your customers or prospects first. Heaven forbid they call you and have to ask the question. You want to be able to communicate them the right message.
That is so important. And just the idea, Roseann, of communications, no matter what whether we're the realtor, whether we're assembling and bringing forth a sales team to bring messages out there every day, I think at any point, no matter what we do, communication, we always should brush up on our communication skills. And, oh, yeah, how about those listening skills, too?
Listening skills, absolutely. You're
I
right.
need work on. I know that.
No, I think you did a pretty good job because you are
thank you.
listening to your guests, because sometimes what's the next question going to be? And if you're not listening to what they're saying, you might have, I always remember this as in my reporting days, you know how you always, I have this sheet of paper that I need to make sure I ask all these questions. And sometimes you have it in your brain so much that you have it. and the person that you ask, I remember tons of time with so many celebrities, I asked one question and they answered five in that same answer. And then if you're not listening, you're asking them the same question, and they already answered it for you.
Like, well, I already answered
Yeah,
that. That's
duh.
exactly right. That
Hello?
happens. That really does happen all the time. So you do have to listen.
You have it in your, you need to make sure, obviously, you have a game plan and what you want to ask and the information that you need to get, and you're being able to communicate otherwise. But it's like if you're not listening, you're going to miss some of the boat. But I think part of it is, I'd like to know too, and you can always is think about that, and even ask your staff or your colleagues, what's the best ways that you communicate? Because everybody has great ideas and everybody does it a different way and put a different spin on it. And also sometimes if you're communicating the same way over and over again, like everything, you kind of get to the delete button. You go, yeah, here's that thing, here's that email again, or here's that again. So change it up so people don't hit the delete.
And when you mention emails and things like that, I think if we go back to the history of communication, communication is very basic. Some of the same principles take place today, but we are in a world with so many distractions. So it's totally different, I think. And we're talking about the importance of being concise, getting the word out. But also, sometimes when we put something out there, we want to make sure that person is engaged as well, because we may put something out and they don't hear it or they don't see it. So somehow we need to gauge that engagement. I'm thinking of a realtor right now where they may be talking to someone about listing their property.
Absolutely.
They better be listening and also interjecting the right things to get that listing and to give the information that they need to.
Timing's everything.
There you go. Even comedians need timing.
It's all about the timing of everything. What's the market doing right now? What's the comps in your area? How's this going to be? And relying on your realtor to really be able to communicate effectively. And I think that's, people always say, oh, I can go to the internet and I can do it. Yes, you can get great information from the internet. And there's lots of great real estate websites to go to, but a realtor really has done these transactions so many times and they know what they're doing and being effective. And so that's important. And I think it's also when you come to the closing table, why it's important to go people that you trust, that have the information, to make sure that you're walking out of the closing table and you're signing all your documents and things are good and you going home with those brand new keys.
And I'm thinking, too, when we think about why people choose certain realtors, why they choose certain title companies, and that goes back to the idea of being comfortable. And part of that comfort is the fact that perhaps they've communicated with that person effectively before. That helps that comfort level. Thus, they go back to use the services once again of the realtor or even the title company.
It's our topic today. It's communication. Why do you pick the realtor that you do? Is because the communication factor and how well they communicate with you. And that same with the title company. Stewart Title is your escrow officers, your business development officers. What's the communication level? How is it executed? And how is it on an ongoing basis? This is the one thing, though. You can't just communicate one time a year or one closing or one client or one listing or one buyer. You've got to be communicating constantly.
That's right. When I think about the things that someone would be interested in a title company, certainly Stewart Title, I say there's at least four main things, and one of those giant ones is communication. Other than that, I talk about stability. Mm-hmm. Pick a title company that's going to be there 20 years down the road. Financial strength, security protocols, all those things are so important.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I think that resonates to all aspects of all kinds of different businesses. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because, we all try to do our best, and obviously we didn't hit a home run, and the Astros are in the process of getting ready for starting day next week. And we want to hit our home run every time. And unfortunately, I think we didn't do that. We maybe had gotten, what if say we're using like baseball analogies, a double. Certainly didn't get everybody home.
And not only that, I like to say the word security protocols, just for the fun of it. Roseann, with the last 30 seconds, what else would you like people to know?
Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your holidays, communicate effectively, but communicate when there's more than just holidays going on. If you have a message to get out, if you know there's a special event that you have going on, if there's something that's happening on a calendar, be sure you communicate with your clients and also your prospects in an effective manner. And also reach out to others in your office to find out how you're communicating and what their best practices are, because you can learn from other people.
Indeed, always room for improvement. That is the Real Estate Buzz today. Thank you, Roseann.
Thank you so much, Bill. I'll see you next time.
Until then.